Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another storytime video. Today, I'm very festive. I don't know if this is the first video that you're seeing with my new background, but like, my new background. It's really cute. The tree is from Target. All of this is from Target. It's a very Target world up in here. Segue, because this story time actually took place in the Target parking lot. And this was one of the weirder things that's happened to me, but like, I swear to you guys, I'll never run out of storytime videos because I feel like I have the most interesting and weird and cursed life ever. I don't actively go out seeking weird stuff like this, but it always seems to attract to me. This time, my little brother was actually there to witness it with me. It's just literally so weird to have someone else witness this because 99% of the time I'm alone and there are no witnesses and no one can back me up. And I always sound crazy talking about the stuff that happens to me. And also, I didn't feel like I was going to die quite as much, so that was great. This was one of the weirder things. This is going to be about this really creepy guy that I ran into in the Target parking lot. It was an experience. I almost called the cops. Yeah. So yeah, not so lit. But also, do you guys like my sweatshirt? I got this from Forever 21, the men's section. I just really liked the tie-dye on it. It was like really cute and grunge and fun, and I like it a whole lot. Before we get started with this video, if you love story times, don't forget to go ahead and hit the subscribe button on my channel. I put out new story times at least once a week, sometimes more. And today I was actually going to put out the second installment of my Stalker series, but that will have to be next week because I just had to get this out there. Okay, so I was actually working on a project for Target, which it's so weird because I've been filming it for a couple of days, so I feel like I've been talking to you guys, but I'm not actually talking to like you guys on my channel. I'm talking to like you guys on Target's channel, so it's really weird. But I was basically going shopping for things to sort of complete this video, like my tree, other little bits and pieces to finish off the video to make my decor look like more full and just to have more pieces in my house. And once everything is here, I am getting a new couch, and then I promise you guys, I will do like a Christmassy home tour. If you guys want that, let me know. So we were pretty much done shopping. My little brother came to Target with me. If you did not already know, he lives with me right now. After our dad passed, we just kind of decided we wanted to live together, so we do, and it's awesome. So we were just kind of outside like loading things into our car, and it had been a pretty successful Target shopping trip, but there was a lot of stuff. Like we had 2 carts filled with stuff like groceries and holiday stuff and clothes and makeup. So we were taking a while to load all of this into the trunk. As we're loading, this black car drives past, and they have a like an advertisement on their car for a like auto shop, like a paint shop, like a repair shop, all of that. And that isn't something I notice immediately, but it comes into play. So this car drives past us, and it goes all the way past us, and then pauses when it gets to the stop sign. So you know how like when you're driving through a parking lot and there are stop signs at the end of every like parking section, you know what I mean? That was basically what it was. So they stopped, which seems normal, stop sign, okay. But then they threw the car into reverse and they started coming towards my car, like my brother and I assume this is someone who's gonna be asking for like money, who, you know, I don't know what people normally ask for, directions, money, advice. Like, I'm here for you, boo, I'll be your friend. But so this person is, you know, they back up to our car, and my brother and I kind of like stop what we're doing. And I look at him because I think it's kind of weird that they drove past us, then backed up. You know what I mean? Like it was like an afterthought. So whoever it is rolls down their window, and it turns out to be a like 20-something-year-old guy. And he says something, but I can't really hear him at first, and I don't want to like lean towards his car or anything. I don't know. I just felt really sketched out, and it was like 10 o'clock at night when we were doing this Target shopping trip, so it was just kind of a strange situation. And I didn't want to get into any kind of trouble. So he says something, I can't hear him at first, so I'm like, I'm sorry, what did you say? And what he had said was, oh, there's a dent in your car. And that was when I noticed the sticker on his car for the like auto shop, so I assumed that that was what he was going to be, you know, like trying to sell me, was like, come into our shop, we will take care of that dent, which makes sense. But a strange thing to try to pick up customers at like 10 o'clock at night, right? And I think even weirder that he was looking that closely at my car. Like, was he just driving through parking lots? I don't know if he saw my car before and then like drove past it again when my brother and I were there. I don't know what the situation was, but regardless, he saw this dent. How I got that, by the way, was I backed into a tree at my dad's house. So yeah, that was how that got there. But I mean, it's a small dent. It's aesthetic only. It really is not that big of a deal. It's hard to see, you know what I mean? Like, it was a strange place for him to be looking at because it's right above my back right tire. And it's not a large dent, so still really weird that he saw it. But, you know, I saw his sticker on his car, I knew what he was getting at, and I was like, oh yeah, and that was all I said, because like what else am I gonna say to, oh, you have a dent on your car? And he follows up with, well, I work at a car shop, and then he points to the sticker that's like right under his driver's side window. Oh, well, I'm probably not gonna fix it, so no thank you. And he asked me why, and it just was like, this guy is really trying to get a new customer in a Target parking lot at 10 o'clock at night. Do I look interested to you? And I didn't know what to say, but I kind of just wanted this guy to go away, and I didn't want him to think there was any hope of him working on my car. So I said, oh, I'll probably sell it before I ever fix it, which is true. Like, I don't want to fix a completely aesthetic dent. It doesn't do anything to the car. It's just there. And he said, well, how much are you gonna sell it for? And my dad was the co-signer on that car. I made every single payment, but my dad was the one who went through the entire process with me. He helped me pick it out. Like, he loved that car. I have so many pictures of my dad driving that car, and in case you don't know, my dad just passed away. So it's really, like, it's kind of a touchy subject for me right now in terms of like ever selling my car, but I just told him I wouldn't be selling it right now. And he said, well, are you sure? Because my brother's looking for a car. 10 o'clock at night, pitch black outside. I don't want to talk to you. And my brother's just standing next to me, like staring at this dude. Like, this guy never acknowledged my brother one time in this entire interaction. And so I tell him, no, thank you. I'm not selling it right now, but I appreciate the offer. And he just kind of nodded. And then this was where this interaction went from like kind of awkward to just flat out creepy. He sat in his car, did not move, and stared at me for what felt like 10 years, but was probably only like 30 seconds or something. It was still an abnormal amount of time to be staring at me, like full eye contact and everything. And I just kind of felt like frozen in place because it was so weird. And I kind of didn't know what to do. So my brother just kind of was like, well, have a nice night, man. And the guy nodded really slowly and said, sorry for bothering you, miss. And then rolled up his window and started driving away. And I was just kind of like, that was so weird. You know, like, it was awkward, and then it got weird, just like staring at me intently, weird. And I just thought maybe this guy was on drugs, maybe he wanted to intimidate me. I don't know, I don't really care. I'm tired. We spent a long time in Target. So we finished up loading the stuff into our car. And as my brother returns the carts, this takes another like 2 minutes getting everything in because, like, again, I had a tree, like we had to like, it's a tiny convertible. We had to figure out how to like play Tetris and put everything so that it would all fit. And I had kept my eye on this car, and he had stopped at the stop sign, like, you know, going out of the parking lot, and hadn't moved since he had pulled away in like about 2-ish minutes. And I think that's kind of weird. But whatever, I get into my car, I start it, and I start to drive through the parking lot, the opposite way of where he is. The second that I move the car, he moves from his parked spot and starts driving in the lane beside me. So in like the lane of cars beside my lane of cars, as I'm driving through the parking lot, he's driving through his side. And I'm just like, this is really weird. So I put on my left turn signal, he puts on his left turn signal. I turn left, he turns left. So I was getting weird vibes. Just like, there is an exit in this parking lot that he could have taken that would have been way quicker for him if he had just kept going. Like, if he had wanted to leave the parking lot the way that I was leaving the parking lot, he could have done that from the stop sign that he was at. There was no reason for him to be driving through. You get what I mean? And so I decided to just go ahead and park my car and like let him leave, because I just had a bad feeling. My brother was like, this guy is really creeping me out. So I pull into a parking spot, and the guy parks right next to my car. And then that was when I was just kind of like, nope, 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 don't want to talk to you, don't care, don't care. So I pull up into a different parking spot. I pretend I don't see him, and I just pulled into a different parking spot. And I'm just kind of like freaked out. My brother's really irritated because like this guy is just being weird, like really, really, really weird. And the situation has gone from, you know, awkward to creepy to like, okay, so are you gonna try to follow me home? So my brother did something really stupid, and he got out of the car and he walked to the black car, to the guy who had been, you know, like asking about my car, whatever, walked to his passenger side window, and asked, you know, is there something we can do for you? And I'm sitting in the car, so I don't hear any of this. My brother comes back into the car and tells me that apparently when he had gone to the window and asked, like, is there something we can do for you? Like, can we help you? The guy was like, I just have a lot of questions about the car. Like, I just wanted to talk about her car. And my brother was like, well, you know, I think it's really obvious she doesn't want to fix it. She doesn't want to sell it right now. Like, there's nothing for you to talk about. And then the guy did the same weird thing with me that he had done with me right before he drove off, where he just sat there in silence and stared at my brother. And when my brother told me that, I was like, okay, screw this. So we immediately got into the car and we drove to Chipotle, and we decided to just have dinner at Chipotle and hang out there for a little bit, and not drive home straight away because we didn't know where the situation was going. Everything just felt weird. Like, what do you want to know about my car that I haven't already told you? Like, you don't need to know anything else about it, you know? It felt weird. And so we pull into the Chipotle parking lot. He stays parked when we pull off. And we pull into Chipotle. We wind up staying there for like 30 minutes talking about how weird it was. And we eat our dinner. We get back in the car to drive home. And as we're driving out of the Chipotle parking lot, I kid you not, you guys, that was when I saw that in the next parking lot over, there was a black car. And right as we drove away, they turned on their headlights. And I was like, no, like, there's no way that this is the same guy, like the guy. And he drives up behind me and I see the sticker for the auto shop. Okay, you know what? Screw this. So I decided I wasn't going to go home at this point. Like, this guy had followed me from Target to Chipotle, waited in his car until I was done at Chipotle, and then followed me out of that parking lot. So I was like, I'm not going home. I'm not leading this guy to where I live. I don't know if he's on like hardcore drugs or if he just really wants to know some crap about my car. So I started driving towards the police station because I don't know what else to do. I don't want to lead him home. I get really weird vibes about this situation, and again, it could be harmless. He could just be like a total creep. But my husband's in the Army and he's been in the field a lot lately, and so I just wanted to do the safe thing. So I drove towards the police station, and once that guy figured out where I was going, like, he followed my car for a while, and then as I was turning onto the street with the police station, he drove away and he sped off. Like, basically he was in my lane, and I don't know if you guys would be at all familiar with like Texas roads and highways in general, but they're really big on like U-turns. So basically I was in the far right lane, and this was like a 4-lane road including the U-turn. So he was in my lane, saw, I think, which street I was turning onto, and then immediately drove all the way across to the U-turn lane and sped off. And that was how it ended. I didn't wind up reporting it to the police because I didn't even like pay enough attention to the decal to know, or the decal, whatever it is, to know what like car shop he worked for. I mean, he didn't try to hurt me. He was just being creepy. And then he left, and nothing has happened since then. I just thought I would tell this story because I think it's weird. There's really no conclusion to this. It's just a creepy thing that happened to me. I'm paranoid 99% of the time when stuff like that happens, and then I feel like a lot of the times I get proven right. Like, this guy just went from creepy to really freaking creepy really quickly. And I'm just glad that it didn't like escalate. I'm glad that he got a clue and drove off. But I really don't know what would have happened if my brother wasn't there. So I'm really glad that he was, and I'm probably not gonna go to Target anymore after 10 o'clock. I mean, it gets dark so early here, and I have so many errands to run like every single day of my life, but I will definitely try to do them more during the daylight hours, because just the prospect, like the idea of being alone in a dark parking lot, nothing about that boded well. I mean, it was a bad situation from the word go. So let me know if you guys have ever had this sort of experience in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed the story time. I'm sorry there's not like a bigger conclusion or anything. I just wanted to tell this quick story about the creepiest man on planet Earth. So if you guys enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you very soon in my next video.